My name is Dr. Shannon PT, and I am the mother and physical therapist inventor of the Little Balance Box. Today I'm going to go over with you the features and the design and the ages and stages of when you can start using the Little Balance Box with your little one. So let's first start by talking about a little bit of the history of the Little Balance Box. So my story as a mom, I have two daughters, and I came up with the idea when my second daughter was learning how to walk, because she was chasing big sister around the house all the time, and we had a push walker with wheels. And so every time she was using it, she would fall when she went from the carpet to the tile floors and face plant. And so she did this over and over and over again. And so I stepped back for a minute and I was like, what can we do differently with this push toy walker with wheels? Because I knew that I had used one 40 years ago as a child to learn how to walk. And so there had to be something out there that was better and more efficient to help our children work on their balance and mobility skills. So of course there wasn't, and so that's when I set out to design the Little Balance Box. As you can see, it looks different than anything else out there. And the reason for that is because I designed it to be more like a tool to help your child learn how to walk and work on their balance skills versus being a toy. There's no bells, no whistles, nothing that lights up, none of those things. This is really designed to help facilitate what your child needs during their natural mobility and progress with working on their standing, balance, and walking skills. So let's first start by talking about the shape and the features of the Little Balance Box. As you can see, the Little Balance Box has a square top, and the feet on the bottom actually flare out a little bit, so it's more of a trapezoid shape. The feet here with them flaring out actually gives it a little bit more stability because it has that wider base in relation to the top. So that's the first design feature that actually gives it a little bit more stability. The other one is the springs in the feet, which you can see here that move up and down. Now we're going to talk a little bit about that square surface up here on the top. So the reason for this is because it gives your child lots of opportunities to place their hands and their forearms wherever they need to feel counterbalanced and safe. Why is this important? A traditional push toy with wheels only has the push bar, so your child only has one place to put their hands and at one height. With the Little Balance Box, a child can put their hands further out or closer to them, adjusting for the height that they need to give themselves the stability. They can also move their hands in different areas and or use their forearms for the support. So that's a very important distinction of knowing the difference of why we have the top flat surface here versus the push bar. The other thing is that the push bar actually gives a child a false sense of security. What do I mean by that? Developmentally, at that age and stage, a child has what's called the palmar reflex grasp, which means that every time you put something into a child's hand, they tend to grab and hold on. Why does this affect a child's ability to use a push toy with wheels? Because when you have an early walker and they're holding onto that push bar and the wheels start to move back and forth, a child doesn't understand that the wheels are what's causing it. And so what they tend to do is they actually hold onto that bar more, giving them that false sense of security as they try to stabilize themselves. And oftentimes what happens is then the wheels go out and the little one unfortunately falls forward. So, you know this too when you're helping a child learning how to walk, right? When you're holding onto their hand and they start to get a little bit wobbly, what do? They actually grab and hold onto your hand more, right? They don't let go in anticipation that the wobbling's coming from your hand. So knowing how a child is hardwired with these developmental reflexes, with the Little Balance Box, we took those things into consideration. And with this flat top, we're not introducing that palmar reflex grasp because their hands are flat and open. So they're not worrying about holding on to anything. The other thing is that the springs are compressing as they're leaning on the top. So as they're pushing to get that stability from the Little Balance Box, the springs are going down, so the force is going down, versus something with wheels, it goes out from underneath them. So that's a very important distinction just from a physics perspective of when you're using the Little Balance Box, it's giving that stability of going down versus rolling out from underneath them. So those are some of the things, the big feature differences with the Little Balance Box and why I designed it the way I did as compared to a traditional push toy with wheels. So as I was manufacturing this, I set out to make it be the cleanest baby walker out there. I figured if I'm going to be picking the materials, I wanted to be able to pass in all of these different categories and make it healthy and clean the best that I could. So that's why we kind of joke that we've actually nicknamed the little balance box the cleanest baby walker out there on the market, because we know that it meets and exceeds all these safety standards. So that's a really important thing to be aware of when you are shopping for baby gear and different baby products, that you really look at the safety testing that's out there on these products and really be aware of what you're bringing into your home and what products your children are using. With that, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more about the materials that we did choose for the little balance box. The first one is the frame is bamboo, eco-friendly, sustainable, all of that good stuff. It has a nice plant-based finish lacquer because we know that children at this age are teething, so we wanted to make sure that it was nice and safe with the finish that we use. All of the sides are hand sanded, so it's nice and smooth. The top is polycarbonate. It's clear, has a cool little drum sound, teaches cause and effect. The clear top also helps with visual acuity and motor learning, because with a little balance box, your child's going to be able to see their whole body and what's going on with them. They're not just locked into one spot where they're only seeing part of their body move. With this, they're going to be able to see everything and get that feedback to see what's going on with the feet. The feet are pure nylon. There's no plastics. And then obviously the springs are in the feet. And then these little yellow things back here, these are our food grade silicone booties. These come on and off. And so we added these, they're an option to the little balance box, and they are designed to provide some extra traction if you need them. So say for example you have an early walker, or maybe you have a floor surface in your home that's a high gloss finish. Putting on the two booties will help provide that extra traction. You don't want to use 4 booties because then it becomes too much traction and it's much more challenging to push the little balance box. So 2 is just enough to give it that extra traction. You can leave them on there, or you can remove them as your child becomes more proficient with walking. So either way, that's what they're there for, as an option to customize whatever your baby needs for their experience with using the balance box and using the booties. So that sums up kind of the different things with the safety features and the different materials that are used on the little balance box.